Showers tonight, especially after around 9 o'clock and through the overnight hours. Low temperature 58 degrees. Then fewer clouds around tomorrow, Alexa.
Well, that's good because I didn't bring an umbrella to work. So hopefully I won't get caught in the rain, but you never know.
There you go. Complete weather details coming up here on WVTT. According to the Associated Press, the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court Judge Robert Simpson ruled earlier today to postpone Pennsylvania's tough new voter ID law, ordering that it not be enforced in the presidential election coming up next month. The judge has allowed it to go into full effect next year, and he also acknowledges that an appeal to the state Supreme Court is possible.
A wave of new faces will be descending on the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford next week, but it won't be new students. Admissions at UPitt Bradford will host a visitation day on October 8th and then again on November 12th, which will give high school students the opportunity to interact with Pitt Bradford students and take a tour. Students and parents may be wandering around the city of Bradford as well to get a more conclusive idea of what the school has to offer, so local coffee shops and restaurants may see a surge in business on those days.
I've been in a hotel room that was almost like a jail. Now, Allegheny County in Pennsylvania is introducing a DUI alternative jail program. It allows drunk drivers to serve mandatory 3-day jail terms in a hotel room that frees up jail space for more violent offenders. State Senator Catherine Young of Olean, chair of the Power Up WNY coalition, is joined by other members of the coalition in launching a petition yesterday to gather support for a company called NRG Energy's new proposed project called the Dunkirk Repowering Plant. That group is seeking approval from the state to replace the existing coal-fired power plant with a brand new state-of-the-art natural gas power plant. If it's approved by the state, the new plant would produce cleaner energy, create up to 500 jobs, and provide energy and resources to attract more businesses to the area.
The turnover rate for school administrators in Allegheny County in New York is 50% this year. Of the 12 school districts in the county, half the superintendents who have been at the job for less than 6 months. Of those 6 administrators, only 2 are permanent additions, while the others are temporary. Only a quarter of the superintendents have had their position for longer than 2 school years.
Seneca Nation of Indians presidential candidate Barry E. Snyder Jr. is in some hot water only a month away from the elections. Last week, the chair of the official Seneca party, Travis Jimerson, demanded Snyder to disclose details on $350,000 in purchases made back in 2006. That purchase went unaccounted for in a federal investigation of the Seneca Gaming Authority's obtain of the Hickory Stick golf course in Lewiston. 2 years later, federal authorities uncovered $900,000 of the multi-million-dollar purchase had been stolen. Snyder says he has no intention of dropping out of the race. Now, WVTT's World News Roundup. Syrian tanks move through the streets of Douma. The opposition reports heavy shelling in the city just north of Damascus. Overnight, rebel fighters stormed an army post in Douma, reportedly killing at least 6 soldiers. CNN's Mohammed Jamjoun is following the latest developments from Beirut, Lebanon.
Another day of violence throughout Syria, according to the opposition activists that we've been speaking with. Now we're told that intense clash is still going on in and around Damascus, the capital of the country, and also in and around the largest city in the country, Aleppo, where there has been intense clashes. In fact, many people say the most intense fighting these past several days since fighting started there in July. But also we're hearing about a lot of activity going on in Douma. In Douma, we're told by opposition activists that the military the tanks entered that city, that then intense shelling began in that city. We've seen amateur video purporting to show at least one tank in the streets there. We've also seen amateur video posted online that we can't authenticate, of course, but amateur video posted online purporting to show tens of vehicles as they are leaving the city. And we're hearing from opposition activists that residents there and families are trying to leave because the violence there has gotten so bad. Now, for their part, the Syrian regime, through the state media apparatus, has said that in Douma, state security officials have found cars laden with explosives that terrorists were planning to carry out terrorist activity there in Douma, and that's why they are in the town. Also, we're hearing about intense shelling going on in the town of Zabadani. And to that end, we've seen amateur video posted online purporting to show not just the aftermath of shelling and huge clouds of smoke on the skyline there in that town, but also the sound of what sounds like shells as they are impacting on the ground there in Zabadani as well. Also, a lot more concern about what's going on in Aleppo, not just the clashes, but in the last several days, activists were saying that there were portions of the souk there that were burning as a result of clashes between rebel and regime forces. We're seeing another video purporting to show at least 1 or 2 shops on fire there, and we're being told that's also as a result of clashes today between regime forces and rebel forces.
Well, the first presidential debate between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney is almost here. It takes place Wednesday at the University of Denver. Dave Young checked in to see how preparations are going at DU.
Touches on the debate stage, transforming DU Ritchie Center's Magnus Arena into one big TV studio. So 50 million people worldwide will have an unobstructed view of the two candidates Wednesday night.
What you'll see is Governor Romney and President Obama standing at podiums on the stage. Then we'll have the moderator, Mr. Lehrer, on the lower level.
Maria Jose.
While outside, hundreds of DU students hope for one of the few tickets to get inside.
I thought it was cool that the debate was coming to DU, but now that I get to go and actually see the actual debate live, I think that'll be awesome, and I hope to just learn more about the political process.
It's just something that I can say to, I don't know, my children or something like that, that I can, that I was here witnessing it with my fellow student body.
Only a small fraction of the 8,000-seat arena seats will be filled to keep open television lines of sight.
Because that keeps changing, they don't know how many people will be sitting in here until the debate actually begins.
When many voters will be making up their minds.
The focus in this debate is on domestic issues, which I think Romney's better at than foreign policy for sure. So I think that, you know, he has something to gain if he does a good job.
Run through our checks, look at the lights, the sound, make sure the acoustics are perfect, and then Wednesday we're ready to go.
As Denver adds a new chapter to political history.
From our friends north of the border, a family in Canada rescued an injured baby crow. Now, as you'll see, he's making himself right at home.
Some see them as a nuisance, others as a bad omen, but for one family, Walter, and yep, this is Walter, is a very special crow.
Good boy. He's certainly my best friend in the animal kingdom. We go on bike rides around and we talk together, and sometimes if I'm feeling sad, I can tell him because I know he won't tell anything else, or like secrets my friends have told me.
Well, he's sort of like another child to our family.
The Renaults found Walter last spring in a ditch, injured and dying. They brought him home and nursed him back to health. Eventually, it was time to let Walter fly away, but he didn't leave for long.
As I walked the kids to school, he trotted along behind us, and I realized that, he thinks he's part of us, and he's going to walk the kids to school and take care of them and be part of the gang.
He is free as a bird. The sky is his playground, but for Walter, home is right here.
We felt we were rescuing him, and he would go off into the wild, and that would be that. But he has definitely become part of our family, and he knows it too.
They saved his life, and he hasn't forgotten. From the skies, he keeps a close watch on the children.
Believe it or not, crows are one of the most intelligent animal species on the planet. And one thing that makes them so unique is that they're one of the few animals that are able to distinguish one human from another based solely on facial features.
Just watch what happens when Walter spots Livia and Zach heading out of class for recess.
Walter!
Livia tells me, like any best friend, Walter knows exactly when he's needed most.
Hi, buddy.
One day I wasn't feeling that great and I was on the couch, and he flew in the back door and he came and he sat on the couch and he came and snuggled right underneath my arm, and we were watching TV together, so that really, I think, made our bond stronger.
Call them birds of a feather. For now, they flock together.
The days that they don't see Walter, I get a little worried. I hope he's okay. But I know that the day may come where he just chooses to fly away with a mate and do what crows do.
And if Walter finds a new flock, the Renaults just hope he'll still fly in for a visit from time to time.
What a great story, and there's lots more still to come as the 6 o'clock report continues. Derek Smith has WVTT Sports next here on News Channel 25, WVTT.